good evening, or good morning, our merry Marvelites. Thank you for either staying up late or getting up early with us as we talk about the series, probably, but the season finale of Hawkeye episode 6. That's right. It was a little longer than some of the episodes, so we expect to be joined by some more friends shortly. But I am Christian Blatt, joined by Nate Miller
Hello.
and, of course, Connor the musical, not to be confused with Connors the musical, which is the story of the lizard.
Yeah, they totally took our fire. We came out 1 week before them. It didn't work
Yeah,
out great.
it didn't really. So, yes, we are here talking about Hawkeye episode 6 with all the spoilers. And I think that's very important to know. I'm going to leave that up on the screen as much as I can. And some of you probably, if you've caught our Spider-Man No Way Home discussions, which we will not discuss here, had to leave that up on the screen a lot because we're trying to keep people from spoilers. And we're literally doing this show as early as you can, having finished it, really only starting about an hour after and honestly, I had to fast forward through the credits because the official runtime was an hour and 1 minute. There's a lot to talk about. There was some good stuff, but I'm gonna say overall, my feeling about this finale is that I'm a little disappointed because we were promised by the director or somebody said that we were gonna know in this episode if this is the Wilson Fisk from the Netflix universe, and I have no idea. He just, other than the fact that he's a terrible dresser in this episode, um, he could be, he couldn't be, he could be dead. He's probably not. Just because Maya shot him, I don't think. I mean, if he was dead, he would have had like a Shakespearean "Now I lay dying," and there would have been like a minute and
Yeah.
a half.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Nate? Am I being a little harsh?
No, I mean, I enjoyed it overall. Yo, what up, Jeff? But
How's it going?
I think I definitely can see some of the disappointment. There's some stuff that I think maybe could have. I don't know. I think what they gave us was good, but
Yeah.
I don't think it. Marvel just has this issue with the TV shows of landing. They have these great setups, and then you get to the last episode, and they just fumble the ball. Like it's a completion, but it's not like a beautiful pass, And I don't know. I liked it, but I wanted to like it more.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anything, the score was tied, and then they got a safety, so they won, but
Right.
wasn't necessarily what you wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, Jeff Williams, welcome back from the Great White North. It's great to see you. Thanks for staying up late with us. And I was starting from a place when you popped in that there, like Nate said, there is a lot of good stuff that we can talk about. But it is a little bit of a disappointment. I think seeing Fisk was great, but I think ultimately, when you look back on the episode and what he actually did and what we got out of him, and this having no greater idea whether or not this is the same iteration of the character as we had in the Netflix shows. What were your thoughts overall, Jeff?
It was similar to the fact that we had Daredevil in Spider-Man. I mean, it was quick, it was in and out. It wasn't too much similar to, we didn't get any backstory. And I actually enjoyed it just because it was fun. Like, we got to see him fight, we got to see Kate Bishop fight, we got to see him kind of be the more broader, the more able to take punches, able to take explosions, able to kind of just like bounce people off of him. So it was fun to watch visually, but like story wise and big picture wise, it was kind of frustrating because it's like, okay, what's next? Okay, you shot him. So what's happening in the Echo series? Why is Hawkeye not even really fighting Kingpin? There's so many questions that we're in 6 episodes. But just an overarching frustration I'm having with every TV show now is like the movies are making the TV shows worthless, because literally in the trailer for Doctor Strange, he said, "I'm not even worried about Westview." And that just like past everything that happens in WandaVision in a sense, and it goes straight into his story and whatever his storyline is about. And we haven't really seen anything. We haven't seen anything happen in a TV show that's happened and that's caused an effect or anything in a movie. So
Well,
it's just it's kind of getting like annoying after. I mean,
That's
after
never
like
going to happen.
after how many
from a
episodes?
business
I mean, how many series?
perspective. They're never going to do that for the TV shows. The TV shows will always reference and relate to the movies. The movies will never maybe you get subtle hints, but they'll never really, because they don't want people to feel like they have to watch the shows also to watch the movies. The shows are for people that want more stuff. That's what the shows are for. And as much as I agree with you, I would love to have them tie in more of the show stuff. They just simply won't do that, because then people will go to the movies having not watched Loki, having not watched WandaVision, and then they'll be like, well, I saw all the movies, but I'm still confused about what's going on. So
well, then
I wish that was the case, but
how do you introduce Moon Knight and She-Hulk and Ironheart in these TV shows, and then in a movie you're just supposed to be like, all right, so here's the homie that you guys don't know. We already have a whole backstory that you guys haven't seen, or you might have seen it. We're not going to talk about it. Like, there's so many things that people need to have seen, and for us to have like whole backstories in these TV shows, I need something to matter.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Erica, overall thoughts. So this very negative tone, at the moment, we don't have our ray of sunshine, who has really enjoyed Hawkeye, Michael Shirley, which honestly, as the later it gets where he is, I mean, it's already now well after 3 a.m. Actually, it's after, it's after 3 a.m. So, could he even, is he home yet? Has he started the episode? There's a lot of questions. But Eric, you're here. Are you going to be in the Debbie Downer party with us, or are you our ray of sunshine this week?
First of all, don't steal my sunshine, as Len once said many years ago. I think that's an important lesson for us all tonight.
Absolutely, yes.
This kind of did. I mean, I think there's a reason we're all using blue lights. Like it was a bit of a cold finish. It's funny, Jeff, you brought up that line about, this is bigger than Jersey. Don't even worry. I'm not even here about Jersey. And that idea, I want them to do that with every series now. Have one sentence that just tosses away the whole story. I'm not even worried about He Who Remains. Oh, don't even worry about the shrimping boat. Like, I just want one line that just destroys 6 episodes of television. You know, around halfway through this episode, it got me for a bit. Then it lost me again. Like when the tree came down and all of a sudden they were in the ice skating rink and Rockefeller Center. Like, I thought that whole part, that was the moment that really got me excited. And I felt like, all right, cool. Up until then, I was surprised because it felt kind of weightless. I think maybe they should have gotten what are those directors, Bird and Birdie? Maybe they needed some.
Bird and Birdie weren't there this week, though.
Yeah, because it just felt like somewhat inconsequential. I mean, it was fine. I wasn't bored or anything, but I wasn't riveted at all. And some of these episodes I found, did pull me in nicely. But once they were on this ice skating rink and all of the trick arrows came out, that whole set piece was great. And I loved actually seeing Kate Bishop fighting with Kingpin, although Yeah, I mean, if you hear a gunshot off camera and the camera, pans away, it's like it. I think Daniel Drew alluded to. I mean, that's like the oldest trick in the book. Like
Yeah.
that goes back to like Dallas and Dynasty and Marcus Welby, MD. Anytime there's an off-camera shot, no one's shot.
Well, walking out of the shower, being our Patrick Duffy, making us realize that the whole previous season was all a dream. It was only a dream. Michael Shirley, thanks for inviting us into bed with you.
Into your bed once again.
Have to buy you dinner.
Michael, are you going to be our ray of sunshine? We're being a little bit down on this finale of Hawkeye. What did you think, sir?
I had a hard time keeping my attention held by it, but the parts that were good were really good.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mostly had a problem with whatever was going on with Echo shooting the Kingpin. Like, that was really weird. I mean, obviously you don't just bring him back to shoot him in the face. So I think that storyline is going to be...
That should have been the post-credit scene.
Yeah, it really should have. I think we're going to get a storyline we're not expecting. I don't know if in the comics the Kingpin's ever been, like, horribly disfigured, but... that would be interesting to see him giving off like oh man, I feel like Eric probably knows. No, I know it. Mason Verger vibes. Like
Mason Verger. Like, you're talking Mason Verger from Hannibal.
Hannibal
from the Silence of the Lambs universe.
Yeah, with the Bruce Jenner voice and everything.
Yeah. So Daniel Drew in the chat says we heard a noise, not a body. Exactly. That's the point. Is if
I think it was a nearby side of meat that got dropped.
Yeah. If Kingpin had died, we would have definitely seen it. And for this to be the first time we see him in the MCU proper, for sure, confirmed. Yeah. And then they kill him at the end of it. I'm like, well, that seems highly unlikely. So I think that was
his office, by the way.
I don't know what that was. That was
I know.
It was almost like they they literally got to the last like $60 of set design that they had, and they're like, we can't build an office for this guy. So let's just use the back of like a 60s head shop. We'll just take the bongs out.
Well, I think I missed something, and
it did feel that way a little bit.
I came late.
So this whole episode, this is what I forgot to say, that what everyone has said has reminded me of what you hit it perfectly on the head. Like, it feels like it's like a finale from like another show that like just so happens to coincide with the plot. Like, so many of the like Kingpin coming, like it's a great fight between the two of them, and it's cool like for him to come in, but also like to have you this whole build up to then bring in a villain like that's actually the big bad that like we haven't seen the whole show at all. The same thing with the turn with like Echo's guy. I forget what his name is.
I think we all forget that guy's name.
I already knew he was out the door.
All of a sudden he's like super fighter man. Like, no, it was supposed to be me. Like, I mean, it makes a cool narrative turn to find out like, oh, there was a snitch. But then for all of this, when there was no like groundwork laid for this, like it's a bunch of stuff that is cool, but doesn't really necessarily connect with what we've been seeing or like feel satisfactory.
Well, it took me a while
first of all, thanks to Ivan Soto in the chat. Kazi, I think is that guy's name. Yes. He wrote it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I heard them say it, and I think that's exactly why I've forgotten his name. For character naming, that's not a strong one.
Isn't that what holds like a beer?
No, that's his cousin. It's his cousin.
It sounds like a name like in Fraggle Rock or something.
Yeah. That's with when the Doozers unionize, they're actually known as Kazi. So I think the strong, I guess pun intended, the strong part of the episode is the sequence with Kate and Wilson Fisk. I think that that's very interesting. You know, the fact that she walks away not dead from that situation, and there's a lot of conversation in the chat about whether or not Kingpin really has any superpowers. He's just a big guy and he can really withstand a beating. I mean, you saw the way that he took that arrow out, you know? So, I mean, you know, and in Daredevil, we saw like definitely him really withstand a lot. And I think that that's this is just more of that. So I thought that, you know, starting the episode almost right away with him, I thought was interesting, you know, that we don't waste any time. We get right to it. And in the spirit of the holidays, he was going to let Eleanor reconsider, but she wasn't having it. And I thought a good moment in the series and in this episode was when Eleanor says, "Is that what heroes do? Arrest their mother on Christmas or Christmas Eve?" I think she says. I mean, well, when your mother's a murderer, yeah, I think that's exactly what heroes do, right? I mean, you know.
I think in Vera Farmiga's contracts for every show she does, it has to have somewhere written in there like, "I'm not having this." Like that is just kind of sums up every character she's ever played.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. What did we think of Eleanor's arc? I'll ask you first, Eric.
Oh, you know, it feels like some of the good stuff happened off camera with her too. You know, in terms of like, you know, sort of slowly inching our way towards she's involved, and then we get a grainy shot of her with Kingpin, and then their first scene together, which, by the way, had this. Even the way they filmed it, like first you see his like feet or whatever he's walking, and then he's revealed through the beaded curtains that used to be at my video store when I would go to check out the you know, other.
Yeah, the Emmanuel collection.
Yeah, I was already going there.
No, that's on the other side of the curtain.
Oh, the other side of the curtain. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
No. Emmanuel was soft compared to what was behind that curtain in Delaware, I'll tell you. I just thought it was like such an undramatic way to go about it, where she's like, "Hey, here's all the horrible things I did for you," and it really was. It just, you know, I think even in the chatter here on the side, like, yeah, it feels like we're missing like a half hour an episode, something, because you know, they really set up things in a very sort of patient, dare I say, tantalizing way, like that beaded curtain room. But then all of a sudden, I don't know, it's like, oh yeah, she's a bad guy. Don't worry about it. Let's move on. And so I think they really missed an opportunity, especially because she is a really good actress. Like she can give you the sort of gradient.
And one note.
Look, when that note is what you want, she's great for it. You know,
she is like the Chevy Chase of overbearing mothers.
All right, now I know that you
is that a
feel like that. I feel like you feel like that. That's a good soundbite, and I do appreciate it. No one is the Chevy Chase of anything except for Chevy Chase, and I don't mean that as a compliment. I think that for what they wanted, she was good, and you know, I think that Kate's story will continue in one way, shape, or form. I feel like if there are more Hawkeye episodes, it'll be really just Kate. I think that that's sort of what the conversation with Clint at the end really implied. What did you think, Jeff, in terms of, you know, the resolution of Kate's mother and sort of, you know, what it was really like it all built to a moment at the end of last episode, and well, this was how they tried to tie it all up.
Yeah, I was interested to see how Kate was going to react towards her mother once she found out all the truth. But I thought it was I actually liked her arc in the fact that we only had so many episodes, so we only got so much time with her. But like, she played the innocent card well enough. She played the just naive rich woman not well enough for me to fall for it. And then also when she was like, "Okay, I believe you," to her daughter, so to Kate saying, "Okay, I believe you. I'm gonna go whatever, like tell the husband or like telling the husband. I thought it was I believed it. And then to see the switch, I thought it was well enough. I thought the character development was good enough for 6 episodes. Yes, it could have been more. Yes, we could have had more context, but like I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah, and look, in the chat, our pal Craig Robinson, hey guys, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed aspects of it. I think that the way that this was building up, I don't know. I think I was expecting a little bit more, and I think that the biggest thing is I was expecting more indication about the future. About like what's coming next for all these characters, including Wilson Fisk. What about you, Nate? Where are you at from a tidying up this storyline in particular, but sort of trying to get it? It's interconnected with really everything that happened in the episode. What do you feel about the way they were able to do that?
Wait, what? Wow, how they're able to do what? What specifically is the question?
The question is, yeah, what's happening here?
Where am I?
The question,
present.
The question is specifically tying up Eleanor's storyline, but also
okay.
It relates to everything, but it relates to everything else.
Yes.
But yeah, so starting with
I agree with Jeff. I think they did a good amount of. Like, I think there was some hints, but there was also like Jack as like a red herring. And I think it was a good reveal to have her like turn out to be tied in. And I like that they made it like how they justified it, like to be like, our husband left a lot of debts behind. He was involved in some things. And I can kind of see the character like trying to do stuff for Fisk to pay off the debts and then eventually like getting comfortable in the lifestyle and sticking with it and kind of ending up where she is now. Like that kind of, it was a big exposition dump, but it kind of worked for me. However, I don't know, like the ending, I don't know. It just felt like disjointed. And I actually thought that Kingpin was going to like kill her in the car is what I thought.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I agree.
Kate would be, she wouldn't have any like ties, but I guess if her mom's in prison, then she doesn't really have to worry about her either, I guess, kind of. Yeah. Well, not as much, but the end, so they didn't do, I was looking for a, Hawkeye will return or something like that, like they did with Loki. So I think they could do another Hawkeye show. What I think is more likely is we will see Kate and whatever is going to be this Young Avengers thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be that'll be a TV like team up probably or something like that, kind of like what they did with Defenders instead of a movie. So I don't think we will see Kate again in her own series as much as either on a team or as like a cameo in like maybe like Ironheart or something like that.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I really liked the ending. I liked them bringing home for Christmas and the ending of the conversation where she's like throwing the names out. Like they really do have good chemistry. And I like the parts that I really enjoyed of this episode was them working together as partners.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in the end, when, it's implied that he says, just call yourself Hawkeye. Like, I thought that was a very nice fitting for the characters, kind of a pass off of the mantle, because totally. Clint's not super ceremonial, but like he did embrace her, and I thought that was cool. So
what were you going to say, Eric?
All that stuff up.
One thing I was thinking, like, I actually thought the episode before I started watching that was going to end with like Kate Bishop will return in the Young Avengers. Like, I thought this felt like a very interesting way they could have announced a new show. Something, but I agree, like no sense of the future. And then also too, Valentina. That's the part that still I can't get my head around. Like, Valentina's the one who said, this is the man who killed your sister. And they brought her in for for Winter Soldier. Why did they not bring her in at the end of this? Like it was a really strange choice to not go there, I thought.
I wonder if originally it was Valentina and part of some other plot, and they didn't have Kingpin before, and then they like reshot it and just like they're like, oh well, we have Vincent now, so get him in there.
Yeah,
I
I
would
mean, I
forgive
think
them
that
if that's
That
what
would make
happened.
sense.
that could
I
have
hope
tied
that's what
these
happened.
series together better if Valentina was the through line, kind of like Nick Fury in the earliest films, showing up at the end. One thing that I did think worked well, I liked the scenes with Yelena and Kate, in the elevator. It's a good balance for Yelena between, cold-blooded assassin, but also like, let's hang out. But also her on the ice with Clint. What did you think of Yelena in this episode, Michael?
Oh, she was great. I mean, it kind of went everywhere I thought it was gonna go with
Yeah.
her and Kate. The way, she tells her she likes fighting with her. It's just, I don't know why you guys all think that this is going to some Young Avengers like TV show. Like, if that's gonna happen, well, then what are the movies gonna be? I think all this Disney stuff, at least right now, is introducing stuff so that it doesn't have to be like a Shang-Chi or a Shang-Chi where you're just dropping something in there from the unknown and hoping you're making money on it. These are going to be the new Avengers. I mean,
So-
whether they call them Young Avengers or just the Avengers, I think this is just the way Marvel's going about getting them introduced to people.
Just to pull on that thread, when you think about the fact, except for Thor, you're really replacing the main Avengers characters. You're going to have a She-Hulk. You're going to have a new, not Iron Man, but you're going to have Ironheart. We already have a new Black Widow. Now we have a new Hawkeye. So I do think that these are characters that we will see on the big screen. I also think that we will see them in on the small screen as well. Although if you have Eric Connor's house, the screen in your house is so large that you can't call it the small screen. But I digress.
Wait, how big is? Tell me how big
The
yours
stories
is,
of
and
the
I'll tell
size of
you.
my screen have been greatly exaggerated.
Not mine though. You tell
He's
me
being
yours,
humble.
how big yours is, and I'll tell you how
I
big
assure
mine
you,
is.
yours is bigger and fluffier.
It's not about the size of the screen; it's about how you use it.
And I don't use it
Agreed.
well
Yeah.
either.
Jeff, let me know what you think about Yelena in this episode. Not the size of anything. That's for Marvel Movie Talk After Dark. Although this is all
Yeah, that's when Eric
Isn't that
leaves.
this?
Yeah, I was gonna say this. We started
We're in
at 1
Michael's
morning.
bed already.
It's true.
I did enjoy the size of her screen time. But no, yeah, I enjoyed her time with Kate Bishop and that interaction, and it just teased like more and more to come, and them kind of just being whatever duo, and just teasing what's to come with them two. On the flip side of that, I didn't think the outside of the little whistle, I don't think anything was really earned because their communication wasn't really that of I mean, it didn't really hit with me. That's all I'm really saying, because when Clinton is saying she sacrificed herself, I didn't really have a choice. I can't really tell you. You could literally just just explain the story without like beating around the bush for a couple of times, and then us having to figure out that she figured out that, like, it was just a lot. It just didn't hit for me, and I kind of wished it was a little bit more straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, I do look. I think in that moment, it's very difficult to explain. Like, well, you remember Thanos, okay? So the Infinity Stones, okay? So it is actually really hard to explain, but there is probably a way. Like, look, we were on some planet, and I think that these are the two characters who are probably the least able to grasp the spacefaring nature of that incident, but Clint was there, so he knows it happened. What were you going to say?
Like, there was opportunities though. She literally said she sacrificed herself for you, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't deserve it." He could have just said, "No, it was for everybody, including you. The person that was blipped, you were gone. She did this for you." Like,
Yeah.
Just a couple things. It's just
I mean,
it was
Clint's
like
not known for being a talker. So.
That's a great point. He did it, you know, he got a little talky in this show, but you know, in
I do
general,
agree with you though. It didn't feel earned. It just kind of felt like we know that she's not going to kill him. Just, beat him up a little bit and then
Yeah.
feel better and then,
Yep.
make friends.
Although,
Like,
yeah.
thanks to Michael, I constantly find myself looking at her head. After you, and I suppose I knew her head was a little large, but really, you put it into words what I was always thinking and feeling about her. And so every
It's
time I see her
round.
now,
It's not so
Yeah.
much large as it is
it's kind of
round.
large for the body, but you're right. It is. It's a wonderful sphere.
It's kind of.
she
It's
looked
like
kind of silly,
garbage
right, in
pail
that
kids.
jacket
Yeah.
with the braid too. Like,
Yeah.
her head,
Yelling,
like a
Yelena.
bobblehead. Beautiful
So
bobblehead.
I'll
the
make that for you,
conversation
Michael.
in the chat is about Valentina. No, she did not hire Yelena to kill Clint. She just is the one who gave her the intel that Clint killed Natasha for whatever her purposes are that maybe we'll see one day, or maybe she legitimately believed it. We don't really know that. She was given this information, but Eleanor's the one who hired her. So I guess that, she's like, oh, he killed my sister. Well, I'm not going to go after him until I can make some money doing it, I guess, is what we're supposed to infer. And I'm not saying it's the tidiest way to resolve that. I'm agreeing sort of with that, though, in any case. But I thought that, I liked seeing her again. But yeah, everybody, I think we all knew that she wasn't going to kill Clint. And I thought that maybe the moment where that happened, I mean, I thought it was emotional, but it wasn't anything truly crazy. There wasn't, it wasn't part of like the action on the ice or whatever, you know what I mean? That determination that happened. So I thought that, again, it was fun. But boy, do I not have the fascination with LARPers that the people behind the scenes on this show did? I was, I mean, the tracksuit guys, that's like enough. It's like a fun, like Barry thing. And, like the guy saying like, okay, I actually talked to her. We went to go see Maroon 5. It's funny. Stuff like that's okay. But I'm like, but then the LARPers come out in costume. And and at least Clint has the realization like, oh, we're all going to die. It's like, yes. All right, I can see feeling that way because that's pretty much what should have happened realistically. But I think that the different angles of the story that were going on, I think there was fun stuff in all of it. I liked seeing Jack in full swordsman mode,
Yes.
but even the realization that we also have to get him out of here, it's like he's only going to get hurt. So I don't know. But I think that I think it's important we talk a little bit about Echo. Sort of her realization we realized last week. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, I don't know. I think she assumes she killed Fisk, but we did only hear one shot and then she ran away. So I don't know that that's the way that you kill a man that large. Is with one shot. You saw what he did with an arrow. I don't know. But I'm interested in spending more time with that character. We know she's getting her own show, and I would like to see how she deals with this. And I mean, if for no other reason, Wilson Fisk should still be alive because Echo's getting her own show, and I don't think he's going to be too happy. If I just had a hunch, Nate, you think that Fisk is happy?
I don't think he's really pleased. Probably, if I had to guess. I know that those are his fancy going out clothes, his fancy Hawaiian shirt. So he's probably not going to be happy to have any holes in that.
Yeah, that's true. It's how's he going to get another one of those?
I do think that they handled him very well. For you and I talked about this a little bit about bringing a character from a MA rated show to a PG-13 rated show, although there was a couple S-bombs in here I was surprised to hear. but I think that they handled it well. Like, it's kind of weird to put that young of a hero up against someone who is on the level that like Kingpin is on. But I do think they, he literally was tossing her around in a toy store, like, and she was only really able to beat him because he was standing on a pile of dangerous trick arrows. So it doesn't feel like they cheapened him by letting her win, and it doesn't feel like they just gave her a free win like for nothing.
Yeah.
So like I've really been, I don't know, like I was worried about it, but I do think that they're going to handle the character well. So with Echo, I was kind of worried that they were just going to turn her into Lady Daredevil, and so they just don't have to do Daredevil again. But now that that's going to happen, and we have Kingpin back, and it's actually Vincent D'Onofrio, I don't know. I'm kind of curious, like, what direction they take Echo in. I don't know if she's going to end up teaming up with Daredevil, or like if she's just gonna do completely her own thing. Obviously, Fist is going to be mad, but I'm going to be honest. The Tracksuit Mafia thing, very funny, lots of good jokes. Apparently, they have an absurd amount of numbers. I
Look,
don't know
there's a
where
lot.
all these
There's
came
a
from.
lot. There's a lot of tracksuits in the 5 boroughs.
I
Staten Island is
not
all tracksuits.
want Tracksuit
absolutely.
Mafia in the Echo show. I'm hoping there's another gang that is also under Kingpin's wing that has a new set of jokes and stuff to make that can be them.
Yeah, perhaps a Leisure Suit Mafia. They're all dressed like the Bee Gees. Just a thought, Jeff. Not so much on the Leisure Suit Mafia, but please, we can spend 20 minutes on that if we want. What did you think of Maya? And sort of, we know we're going to see her, more of her soon. So what do you think of how her story wrapped up in this and where she goes from here?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this her first time like acting?
I don't know that actually.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Eric is nodding.
you're
there,
right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because once I heard that, I just like paid more attention to her, in that sense, and tried to just appreciate that for how new she is and how green she is, but also just the storyline as a whole. I thought it was a great introduction to her character. I wish we didn't see her shooting Kingpin, because that just like adds so many questions. Does she like? Yeah, that just adds so many questions for where that whole series is gonna go. But like, I'm excited for it. I feel like it's gonna not only be something different for the MCU, but like it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a cool TV show, and I'm interested to see how they're gonna have a MCU lead be speaking ASL the whole time.
Yeah, I think that the supporting cast will there'll be somebody who's not going to betray her and try and kill her that as her right hand. But yeah, I definitely agree with that assessment. What do you think, Michael, in terms of Maya going forward?
I think she's probably going to be the new leader of whatever the Kingpin has going on. I think whatever's going on with him is like the most important thing. Like, after the events of like Daredevil, is he like poor? Does he not have money? Is that why he's dressing like this? Like, is he trying to go? No, I mean,
No,
seriousness.
that shirt raises
Like,
a lot of questions.
Is he
I'm
going under the radar? Is he like grabbing her shirt when he's like literally just walking, like down the street? Like, I don't really know what's going on with that. But if he does have any money, I don't really see her being involved. But if he's just kind of got this like trust a bro scheme all over New York City, I see her being the new leader of that, and him probably coming and trying to take back whatever he's been trying to rebuild. It makes me really question what's going on and why they're even making this Echo show. I was never really sure what the storyline was going to be because I always think of her like as kind of like an X-Men character. So this is just definitely not what I would be expecting for you to. I don't know. She's always kind of had like this allegiance toward the Kingpin, so kind of starting them off as enemies is odd.
Eric, as it relates to Maya, there's two things in the chat. One, well, there's three things, but one of them I tried to block. But the other two, this idea that Maya, Ivan was saying Maya's done with the criminal life, and Daniel, among others, think that the show will take her out of New York City. I think it's about time we got an MCU show set in Cleveland. I think everybody probably agrees with that. Or do you put in the vote for Wilmington, Delaware? Is that where they need some superheroing?
Listen, you take the Jersey Turnpike. It's the last exit, and you're there. I mean, it really is a very simple drive. I was a little more excited about Maya from like an episode or two ago than this. I thought they kind of, like Nate, you were saying before about like not quite nailing the landing. And I think maybe Maya got the biggest disservice of all. And I understand this idea she's turning over a new leaf and she's now kind of a woman without a country, so to speak, which could be interesting. But for some reason, just her final scenes with like her two mentors, so to speak, like it didn't quite land for me. Yeah, and the way she took out Kingpin, maybe really kind of strange. So, that being said, one thing I am excited about though, because when you have a character who not only is deaf, but she doesn't, she uses sign language. She barely speaks. The idea of like all of a sudden having a Marvel show that's going to have maybe very little dialogue is kind of interesting. And I don't know if you guys saw Only Murders in the Building, but they did an entire episode that was without dialogue.
Oh,
and it was kind of riveting. So I think like there might, as a stunt, it could work. I just don't know if it could work for 6 episodes. That's the thing. Like she's never been the center of her own title even. So giving her sort of a piece of this, Moon Knight's had his own title, right? I mean,
many times. There's more Moon Knight #1s than probably anything else in the Marvel.
Man, I just
he gets to start a new show pretty regularly.
Oh, Michael figured it out. Yes, Michael.
What is it, Michael?
I changed my mind about her taking over his business. They did all that off camera. She totally shot right by his ear and is like, "We're done," and is leaving. He's fine.
Yeah, maybe that moment of like telling him that you could have killed him. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that scene that would be interesting, and that if that is the case, that scene would probably be how her series starts. And
then they can do anything with that show.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing I also want to say, Michael, like just because those shirts to me aren't a sign of poverty. If anything, it means him and John Lasseter go to the same Hawaiian shirt sales where he's really high end.
Yeah, they call Weird Al Yankovic's guy, and he has them come in sort of like,
and that's like the best guy in the biz. I mean, that guy
he bought it at Dan Flash's.
I look at that shirt not as a sign of poverty. I look at it as like a burner phone. It's like something you can get like in a bodega. You can. Get,
I will
like,
not tolerate
not in his size. That's custom.
My man looks sharp in his white suit with his red tropical shirt on.
And the way he took an arrow gave me hope that if I ever get hit with an arrow, I might be okay.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
So we got no any confirmation that this is Marvel TV Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So in my mind, this especially since everyone in the MCU has the super soldier serum, this is like super soldier serum Kingpin, and it's not just like I'm a buff dude. He's like I'm a real buff dude.
I never questioned Kingpin's strength or vulnerability. It's kind of like Santa Claus. Like it just is.
Yeah. It's King.
Like, don't worry
he
about
take
it.
A lot of punches from Daredevil and a couple from Spider-Man, but he's not fighting Thor. you know, like
don't we think that given his demeanor and the way he acted, that and just also the way that Hawkeye kind of like knew he's a guy you don't want to mess with, that none of that stuff's been retconned. It seems like it's all there.
I don't think it's going to be addressed directly as much as they won't do a lot of things to contradict it.
Yeah.
He'll say Vanessa
at some point. Yeah, that's true.
Or something about that
passion.
stupid white rabbit in the snow.
That's what they should have had after the shot. It should have been like, bang, Vanessa! And then we like, yep, we know for sure
then
it's
he's
canon.
definitely part of the universe.
Here.
So I think that sort of not getting that confirmation one way or the other is a disappointment. And we were talking before we started that the disappointment is when the episode is ending and you know that there's like 8 more minutes, you're like, okay, there's going to be something big. We're going to maybe get a post-credit scene with Yelena, something with Kate. We're going to see where this is going next. And instead we got something that I think we all thought would have been a fun, like DVD extra or as like a little featurette they could have put on Disney Plus.
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. And I said I wanted to see it, but I didn't want it at the end of the last episode.
You did this.
It's true. I did do this. And I mean, but I was just like, there's a lot of annoying musicals out there, but I don't think I've ever been more annoyed by a musical than this. Was anybody in the chat? Was anybody in the chat happy about that? Let us know if
not one person.
I like how they addressed Hawkeye, and it was like his show, and they're like, he seems like an okay guy. It's
I mean, I do like the moment when Hulk smash, but I didn't need it. That's the whole point. Is
you got it twice. I mean, like I'm quoting me, but this aged worse than Dear Evan Hansen.
Was it?
I literally didn't watch it, to be honest with you. Once I saw what it was, I let it play, but I was not paying attention.
What were you gonna say, Jeff? You fast forwarded. I did get up and I listened, but
you fast forwarded hoping something better was going to be.
Well, I fast forwarded through the credits after that, hoping I'm like, all right, they couldn't possibly end it that way. No, they did.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, after a while, I kept doing like the fast forward 10 seconds. I was like, okay, they're gonna pan to like somebody important, some cameo that's in the audience watching.
Well, you
not anything.
By the way, if the one thought that I had that could have saved it is if Yelena was watching it and she like stood up and like loved it. That was I'm like, well, because her sister's in it, you know.
Okay.
So that's why she could have been
crying.
Like the one guy in the producers who claps after Springtime for Hitler.
or Charles Foster Kane applauding for his terrible, awful, terrible singer girlfriend. Just that's all we needed out of Yelena there. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it's what I wanted, but not like this. At what cost? That was like some very valuable screen time. What were we going to say,
Happy
Nate?
holidays.
Wow.
Yeah. Part of the issue with like these movies getting so successful and then making more and more and having them all connected and like things are constantly changing. And so they don't want to commit to anything like they used to. Like, you know, with the first couple of movies, there was like, yeah, we're just going to have a little Thanos teaser in the end because we know eventually that's what we're working towards. But what they're working towards now is so like complicated and convoluted probably that like they can't really tease too much of anything because things might change, continuities might change, so they just kind of give us these like, because even, you know, the movie that we saw, that I don't want to give away what comes at the end, but it's not really like the old end credit scenes that like we used to get. Like I know
what you mean. The end credits always set up the next thing, and sometimes
it makes you excited for like for like, because
Yeah,
you just saw something you were excited for, so you're like, all right, cool, now what? And then they're like, here's what, and you go,
Yeah.
oh yes,
I
now
think
what's
it's
gonna
too
happen?
hard to try and set up multiverses and Kangs and that sort of level thing. I agree, but that's why I thought we would get to just, either see Echo or Kate, keep it small what they
Yeah.
tease, and even Yelena would have been small, but instead we get Rogers the musical, and I don't. I think I think we've already spent too much time on it, in all honesty. But it was so annoying. So as we start to wind down, because it is almost 2 a.m, and I know it is also almost 4 a.m. for one of us. But Michael's about to like his night's about to start. He's heading out to the after party. So thank you for giving us some time here. But as we look back on these 6 episodes as a whole, we'll just go around and sort of say what we thought. I thought that Haley Steinfeld was great. It was worth waiting like a full year to do this show, because she's clearly going to be this character. This is what they wanted. That's what they can do. And I thought that her character evolved in a way where she wasn't able to go toe to toe with the Kingpin in the first episode, and realistically, she didn't really hold her own. She just didn't die, So I think she would have died in the first episode if she had shot Wilson Fisk. I mean, you saw his approach was that like he wasn't even going to bother with her, and it's like, well, now look what you made me do. So I think in general the show was fun, and we finally really got to spend a lot of time with Clint. And I've always liked the Hawkeye character from the comics, and so I do appreciate getting to see it. I am glad that he made it home for Christmas, because my prediction that if he had made it home for Christmas in a body bag, that would have been a real bummer. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that this is what we got. I'm glad his family. I mean, I don't know when he had time to wrap those gifts, but I don't know. I assume he took like a so like he called Happy, and they had like a Quinjet to fly him to wherever it is that undisclosed location. The realization that Laura had been a Shield agent was nice. It was something that I think
what
we
a
all
throwaway.
we all theorized that. I mean, she sure seemed to act like it. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, oh wait, that's why the watch was so important. I mean, we all wanted the watch to be like have like an Iron Man suit in it. That would have been amazing. But no, it's just her. It's just her retirement gift.
It was gonna have a Mockingbird suit in it, literally. Like
Yeah.
if they can have a Tony Stark Iron Man suit, they can't put some spandex in a Rolex.
By the way, you should trademark that slogan. You can't
I'm
put
still
spandex
really
in a
pissed
Rolex.
about how they've used her, you guys.
Used
they've
who? Laura?
Linda Cardellini.
Oh, well,
Like,
I mean,
it's like Gwyneth Paltrow all over again, but not even as good.
I mean, so does that mean Linda Cardellini is going to have a line of scented candles?
And instead of being called Goop, it's gonna be called Duped, because she's like sign up for the most stupidest throwaway role.
I don't think she
for
was even physically there.
that was kind of introduced as a throwaway in what was Civil War. That was the first time we saw her, right?
Yeah, she's been in like 3 movies and 2 movies in a series since then.
Look at what they did with Coulson.
She's doing pretty good.
Coulson died in the Avengers.
Coulson's
I don't know
dead.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, what do you mean?
There's never been a Coulson after that.
I'm
There hasn't
talking
been
about
7 years of Coulson.
How that actor went from something really small to really important.
Yeah, he was on the New Adventures of Old Christine with Valentina. So it actually all that series was canon, obviously. But Michael, your thoughts on the show as a whole?
I thought that it was cute. I thought that it was a good run for one of my favorite characters. Like, that was a good show for him. I liked that it was kind of half comedy. It was like, or what are they calling it? Like how did they bill the Falcon and Winter Soldier? It was like buddy duo or whatever.
Kind of, yeah.
But like, I thought it was really fun. I thought that it's exactly what these Marvel shows should be. It's what I thought they would be. it feels like the movie almost way more than the other shows we've gotten. Falcon and Winter Soldier was so actiony. WandaVision was so out there. Loki was so Loki. Like it. I feel like this is what I'm wanting to see. It's feeling like we're watching a comic book.
What I will say is this felt the most like what I expected from these Marvel shows. But I don't know what they spent to pretend that they knocked down the Rockefeller Christmas tree, but that's not a cheap effect to do. So if they're going to spend the money on it where it looks convincing, I'm all for it. What did you think, Jeff, about these 6 episodes of Hawkeye?
I feel like you guys are fairly nice on that. And saying that like this is what you're expecting, this is what you're hoping out of like the TV shows, because this was like
I have low expectations, Jeff.
That's what
okay, good, because this was low on my totem pole. like this was not any. I mean, like I'm trying. Maybe this was better than What If. Maybe.
What?
But like,
I didn't even count that.
Like, okay,
you know what?
It had okay. Listen, it had a good moment.
There's something in the water in Canada. I don't know what you drank up in Canada.
What show is it? Okay, it's not better than WandaVision. It's not better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's not better than Loki.
It is absolutely better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Even just the
wait,
action
this TV
alone.
this TV show is better than Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I think it's better than Falcon.
All right.
What was the villain's name in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Which villain are we talking about?
No one remembers.
The Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers.
I remember.
Yeah.
Which what was the name of the villain in this TV show? Because we had 27
Kingpin.
of them as well.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it was
Angelina.
essentially it was Kingpin and Vera Farmiga were the villains. Jeff, obviously, opinion is subjective, and you can think that it was you liked it less than all the other shows. But when you said that What If might be better, I mean, if all the episodes of What If were at least decent, I'd be like, maybe. But I mean, I've been talking for months about that third. I still have nightmares about that third episode of What If.
I think you need to rewatch What If.
A little too.
I might have went too far on the What If,
but you're saying that for the other shows, this was your least favorite of what? WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
100%.
Okay.
Like it had a couple good episodes. It had a couple good scenes, but like the finale fell short. It didn't lead us to anything next. It just frustrated me.
So
maybe it hurt because it was in a timeline of like, okay, this is leading up to stuff. We're having good movies, good TV shows, and then we're here with Hawkeye.
So what this tells me is that raging inside of Jeff Williams' heart is the war on Christmas, and he just won't stop fighting it. I think that's really 100%. What it comes down to. You were 100%. Disappointed that Hawkeye made it home in time for Christmas, or honestly, at the very least, you would have hoped that his presents all got smashed on the flight back.
Honestly, when he was walking up to the door, I was like, come on, let's have those kids be snapped again or something. Let's change it up. Let's do something different.
What did you think, Eric?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You remain one.
Jeff is going full villain on this one.
Yeah.
What
we have our own Carly here.
What are your thoughts, Nate, as we look back on these 6 episodes of Hawkeye?
Man, I mean, I guess I have to say nice things now after what Jeff
No, you don't have to say any nice things. That's the beauty of it.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say that I'm not a little disappointed, but I also think that I think that releasing this right after the Spider-Man movie was a mistake. They should have had this end. I thought that the reason why they timed it like this is because we were going to get some type of tie-in.
Yeah,
that did not happen.
I thought so too.
So to do it, to time it like this after that movie, this looks like dog shit.
You don't think it was and
it's not. it's a good show. I'd give it a B+ overall. I think it's got great moments. I do think Haley Stanfield is fantastic. I
Yeah.
think the
Man,
introduction of her
she's looking
character.
real rough at the end.
It's been a rough week, Michael. Come on, for Kate Bishop.
I think that it was a good pass off. I think it was cool to see Clint do his own thing and also kind of get, the Ronin stuff kind of tied up. Like, that was cool. I think there's a lot of good parts of the show. I think it's absolutely better than What If. Definitely better than Winter Soldier. I would put it in the WandaVision territory where I think it has a very strong start and it has a good overall style that it leans into. But I think, as with the same thing with WandaVision, I don't think that they landed the endings very well, and it kind of makes the whole thing kind of shaky. But yeah, I definitely still think Loki is the best show, and anybody who doesn't think that is objectively wrong.
Is it better than Hitmonkey?
I don't count Hitmonkey because Hitmonkey's on Hulu. But no, I would not say so.
I hate to see it.
Because if we were counting, because the thing is, like, to be honest, as much as I love, like, this Clint Hawkeye and MCU Hawkeye, like, I like a little bit heavier, a little bit more mature Hawkeye, and I would have liked to explore the Ronin stuff maybe with a little bit more of those mature themes on like a Hulu show than the Disney show, but that's not what we got. So with what we got, I think they did a good job. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Again, the landing, we gotta start really, like, I know we're doing retcons and we're doing reshoots and stuff, but we gotta get those season finale scripts out, okay, and edited and reviewed and lock them in, okay. Stop phoning in the ending, because we can tell and it kind of sucks. Like, or at least just don't do anything and be like, all right, cliffhanger season 2. Like,
yeah, I do think that Hitmonkey did stick the landing. Eric, as my co-host for our Hitmonkey special, I did say early in the run of Hawkeye that I liked Hitmonkey better. I'm not quite sure now, but I loved Hitmonkey. I thought it was really well done, and I was not expecting it. But you want to talk about low expectation? But what did you think, Eric, about these 6 episodes of Hawkeye?
Yeah, I'll start with the landing. Work my way backwards.
Sure.
You're right. The timing on this, like, in some ways, could not have been any worse.
It was like Carrie Strug, like we.
No, but
we've got a finale. We've got one.
It. She broke her leg, but she still nailed the landing.
Yeah, but it wasn't
problem, man.
Was not.
This is like the Malaysian diving team. If you've never seen that, where they both got 0.0. Not quite that bad. I got
0.0.
The last episode aside, I actually thought this fell right in the middle. I agree. Loki for me was my favorite.
Sure.
And I would say WandaVision. I actually thought, even though half that episode was a little bit jumbled, emotionally, I thought WandaVision did a great job of actually paying off the thing it set up. That's fair. I actually will disagree respectfully, of course. But there was so much good in this. And really, this one's actually been very fun to watch with my family, too, which is nice to see. Like, this is one of all the shows my wife, Lauren, has been like, I think I like this one the best because she can, I don't know, connect with more of it just as like a non-Marvel.
Linda Cardellini's.
Yeah, although I'm convinced Linda Cardellini wasn't physically in the same space as Jeremy Renner. Yeah, the way they filmed,
he's so famous.
Right. Well, the way they filmed like the hugs, there was something kind of funky where it felt like maybe a body double, and then that one shot that was a 2-shot of the two of them. So I'm not sure what was going on with Linda Cardellini. I think there might have been other. Go ahead.
There's a 2-shot with Jeremy Renner and Haley as well. That was very, very much. They were in two different locations. Haley's eye line was not even looking at.
Yeah.
You know what? That is a good point. I didn't. You're saying it now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can visualize that. Maybe he filmed some sequences like on, like a side stage wherever he's, doing Mission Impossible 8 or whatever. Maybe that's where he is. Maybe, and I'm using that as an example, but maybe he was somewhere else, and it was just like, yeah, we'll just do that. Well, in
Tom
general,
Cruise
it's
is
been,
like, you're not
but I
hugging
thought
anyone.
this.
you go ahead. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm a fan. I mean, as mentioned, like I've always really liked Hawkeye, and so I feel like it was great to see him get his time to get his turn at bat. Jeremy Renner's a terrific actor, not necessarily the same as the character in the comics, but I
No.
don't mind. I think he's always made this
Yeah.
character his own, and now we got to see more of that. We got to, and I really like that they actually had him deal with regret for the choices he made during the blip, and I think that was actually some of the best acting and writing of the show. I think it set up a lot. It didn't really pay off enough of what it set up. But if we get more Kate Bishop in the future, small screen, big screen, Shirley size screen, whatever it is, I'm happy with that because she really did. She showed why they waited.
Right. Exactly. Well, I had a lot of fun chatting about this show, and we don't really know what we're getting next because Disney Plus is all Book of Boba Fett. We don't give a shit about Marvel right now. We'll get to it, but so somewhere in the new year, we'll figure out what we're gonna have, and we'll all be back doing the show in the normal slot at some point in the new year. For those of you who have been paying attention, we already did 2 episodes about Spider-Man No Way Home that are easily found on the Marvel Movie Talk playlist on the Blackcast YouTube page, BLADTCASC. If you're watching this now on YouTube, that's where it is, but you can find it very easily. We'll do at least one more because they were working Jeff at his day job, and he was not able to join us. So we'll have one more of those probably next week sometime, but we won't have our regular show obviously this week because we just did it. We don't need to do it again, and we'll be back in the new year. But look out for another Spider-Man special. We appreciate everybody who stayed up late and everybody who's been with us all year and this whole ride along the way. Jeff Williams, where can people find you?
At Jeff Will Jr. on all your social media platforms, and then going to sleep in a bed near me. It's right over there.
You said in a beer. So,
look.
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
I
need a beer, but I'm really just going to bed.
Okay. Well, good night, Jeff. Thanks for staying up late with us. We'll talk to at Jeff Will Jr. soon.
Wait, what?
And
he wasn't lying. He was going back.
He messaged me. I was like, "Don't worry, I'm wrapping it up."
You misinterpreted that, but you'll see later.
He got sent into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because he has to pay for his crimes. That's why you go to the Phantom Zone. And Jeff's really still here, actually.
I saw that and I was like, oh, I got kicked. All right, I was about to leave. No,
yeah,
we're good. I'm staying here throughout the outros.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. He's he's not going to leave his post.
Wow,
Michael, where and people want to find you, how can they do it?
Oh man, you can find me on Instagram. I hate Michael Shirley, and on Twitter at Michael Like Shirley.
Thank you. And Nate, where can people find you?
I can be found on all the places where people find people at Dog Like Nate with 2 G's.
And not with 2 G's, but 2 N's. Eric Connor, where can people find you?
You can find me on some social media platforms that count Eric Connor. And for you, Michael Shirley, if I was there in Tennessee, you could have my Fraggle Rock dog in honor of your reference today.
You were going to have Sprocket. Yeah.
Kazi?
Okay. My old dog looked like this. So
just like Sprocket.
Sprocket's a very special place. But happy holidays, everyone. And happy
now is the time on Sprockets when we dance.
You look very festive, Michael.
Yeah. No, the rest of us are all like I have on this this hoodie because it's freezing down here in the garage. But anyway, thanks to everybody. We will again see you soon. Please keep in touch. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at ChristianDMZ. Subscribe to the Blackcast YouTube channel. We will see you soon. And as the great Stan Lee would say, Excelsior!